Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Sam and this is the Crafty Blinder van build. After rebuilding the engine we were struggling to get it started. This week we've got to get it started. Camp Quirky's in 7 days. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Not going to lie, these last few weeks have been really stressful, really hard. I've struggled. I really have struggled. I haven't slept at nights. I've lost I've lost days to this van. Weeks, no, not days, weeks to this van. Trying to get the problem fixed, trying to repair the head gasket, trying to repair other little problems that have come along, that we've identified as we've gone along. There's a reason behind this. We're booked to go to Camp Quirky. I've wanted to go to Camp Quirky for years, and through no fault of our own, we've missed it through lack of tickets, COVID. So this year we made sure we got our tickets as soon as they come out on sale. Now I don't want to miss this event for anything, so we've worked tirelessly, we've put long hours in, and in the last video you'll have saw it just wouldn't start. It kept throwing up a cam sensor fault. So in this video we'll try and explain how we fixed that, and you'll see how we fixed it to get it up and running again. But this has been a hell of a job, and without my brother's help I would have struggled. Let us know what you think in the comments, and please remember, like and subscribe. The channel is going from strength to strength and it's all down to you guys. And if you could share, like and comment, that lifts our profile just a little bit further up the YouTube algorithms. But there's one thing that you can do yourself, and that's subscribe, because 50% of the people that watch these videos aren't subscribers, and that is holding the channel back. So if you are a regular viewer, please consider subscribing and sharing the channel with your friends. If you've got any questions, please drop me a line. We answer 10 to 20 questions a week, and I love speaking to people, I love interacting with you. And again, it's all part and parcel of this channel. I think we've got a great community, a great base to build on. Thanks for all your support, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, let me show you where we're at. We've got the timing belt off, we've retimed everything up, set everything back up, rotated it about 6-7 times by hand, checked the measurements twice now to make sure everything lines back up, and it does. So for now I'm just going to leave, well, I've put the airbox back on, I've connected the pipes and the connections that need to be on. That one there doesn't really matter. I'm going to fire it up and see if it starts. Have I disconnected the exhaust? That does not sound good. It sounds like the exhaust's blown. So it doesn't quite sound right, but let's see. I don't know. Just really don't know anymore. I am an absolute idiot. Like I've just realised why it sounded like the exhaust was blown. Last night when I was checking everything, just to double check, I took out the heater plug on cylinder 1. I wanted to make sure that top dead centre was exactly where it was, because when we're lining things up and with the tooth jumping, I couldn't find a mark on the bottom pulley, on the bottom sprocket, sorry, to line everything up. So we went old school and we top dead centered it. you want your van to run perfect, you need to put all the parts in it. What an absolute cabbage I am. Again, exactly as it was before. We'll give it one more try. Hopefully this time it works, everything's crossed. That's me, I'm relieved that it's actually turning over and it's got to that point. It's bringing up an error code, so we need to find out what that error code is now. I'm going to just hand time it again, make sure everything still lines up, and we'll get our cliff through with the computer. Cliff's here now. He's just going through the error codes. Turns out it's a diesel pressure sensor. So with the older models, you could prime the ignition, it would prime the pump and send diesel up to the actual pump. You can't do that with this model. Since about 2011, you have to force an input, and you need to do it like 3-4 times, where it'll run for 30 seconds, and using a computer and the OEM port, you force a signal and that runs a pump and that primes everything up. So Cliff's been doing that, so hopefully we'll be up and running in a few minutes. Fingers crossed, and hopefully we've solved all the problems. Cliff? Well, it's running, but it keeps throwing this code up, and then the code will clear, and it's crank sensor code, so that will be out of alignment. We don't know, just a weird one. We've checked it all. We'll just persevere with it and see if we can find it, but it's running. Cliff's advancing the timing just a little bit. Every 5th or 6th time it will start, but the rest of the time it won't see the cam. It's just a little bit out of line, so we're just going to try this and hopefully it'll fix it.
That's a lot.
That's what?
That's a lot. That's more.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Wow. Didn't expect it to fire up straight away. Oh well, that's that done. This is the situation. This is the first run that we're going to attempt since yesterday. Yesterday went badly wrong. We set off. The van literally, as soon as we set off, started making some weird noises, as if a turbo pipe had gone. But a couple of hours checking all the pipework this morning, I think I've tracked it down, and I'm hoping, I'm listening while I'm driving, I'm hoping that we're on top of it now. So let's go, give it a run. So looking behind my house, there is a stretch of road that's quite quiet, and it's about a mile and a half long. That should let me know whether or not we've got any issues. Now I knew by this point yesterday that there was something not quite right. It coughed and farted and let me know that there was something not quite right. So we just limped it up here, cut the journey short, went back. Had another inspection, couldn't find anything. So I set off again and just went a little bit further. We've done the exact same. Couldn't for the life of me work out what was going on. But I think I've just tracked it down. Where the throttle body is, there's a pipe connects there, and it seems we hadn't done anything with that pipe. We hadn't disconnected it. Sorry, we hadn't reconnected it and tightened up the Jubilee clip there. But this seems to be going pretty well. It feels like our old self anyway. We're up to 50. In the 5th. Oh yes. My heart has been in my mouth most of the last couple of weeks. Oh, the surface water here. Forgot where the controls are. It's been that long since I've driven it. I spent more time under the bonnet than I have driving it in the last 6 months, I would say. Oh man. Happy Sam. Happy Sam. Just so relieved that, yeah, we're Camp Quirky in 7 days. So talk about cutting this fine. We've got a whole summer planned in this vehicle. As you know, me and Lisa both work, but we'd love to live in this van. We've talked about it many, many times. Renting a house out, just doing one. Homeschooling Riley while we're in the van. And for this problem to happen the other week, it put all that into doubt, it put it all into question. So hopefully we have a rock solid engine now. I'm glad it did fail when it failed. I've probably said this 100 times. It could have gone at the other end of the country and cost me thousands to sort out. But we are where we are. We've managed to fix it. A lot of respect and appreciation to my brother for the time he's given up. He's got several projects on the go and he's been coming through and helping me when he can, and I really, really do love him for that. So the temperature's just sitting at 90 again. It's just dropped actually. We'll go and check the water level. All good. Engine sounds quiet. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's going well. Yep. This is the horrible. Sorry, I thought something fell on my head then. This is the horrible part. Once you've rebuilt your engine and you've put all that work into it, it's nerve-wracking starting to drive it again. You're constantly watching every gauge. I'm hearing noises that were there before, but I'm worrying about them. I'm like, should that still be there? Was that a noise that has caused the problem? There's a little tiny hiss when I lift off the throttle. I don't know if it's a turbo pipe or if it's something else, but that was there before. Anyway, we'll carry on. Been doing that much talking, I need a drink. We'll carry on, we'll give it another run. There's a big hill into my village. That should help open up the thermostat, let it climb that hill. We'll keep it in a low gear and we'll just keep the revs high, just to see if it'll open the stat. So, yeah, I'll be like this now for the next 500 miles, because I'm going to do 500 miles before we set off to Camp Quirky. I want to run the engine in. I want it on short journeys where it warms up, cools down. If anything's going to leak, it's going to be then. If anything's going to rear its ugly head, it's going to be in them stop-start journeys, I would have said. The prolonged journeys, the van just sits. basically when we get up to running speed, it's just sitting at probably 2,000 revs. It's just, for want of a better word, it's just above idling, isn't it really? So anyway, it needs to be proven close to home, so if anything does go wrong we can fix it, or we can monitor it. We had a little diesel leak off one of the injectors earlier on. We've dealt with that. That just wanted a nip. It was on the new injector, on the new injector line, so number one injector. So we've solved that problem, dried off as much as we can, but then 500 miles, that diesel that's around that injector should evaporate with the heat and leave us with no sweat marks either from the diesel itself. Everything seems to be right. Everything sounds quiet. Day 2, we're out giving the van a big run. We took it on several short runs yesterday, you know, increasingly longer runs. So today we've just been to Keswick. We checked the levels at Keswick. Everything was fine. The temperature sensors sitting at about 100, just under 100. Everything's fine. So we're on our way to Penrith now. We're about 2-3 miles from Penrith. Just before we get to Penrith, what we'll do is we'll drop in lay-by, we'll have a look, check the levels again, and then we're going to head on to the motorway. Now, I've got my recovery number with me in case things go Pete-tong again. But I've got everything crossed. It's been a good day. It's a little underpowered now. When we retarded the timing, we never retarded the pump timing, so I think we may need to just tweak that a little bit. I don't really advance it. Anyway, we did one of them. It was either advanced or retarded, whichever we've done, we haven't done the pump, so what we'll do is we'll probably give that a little tweak. Yeah, we're on. We're going alright. We're sitting at about 70 now on the dual carriageway. Temperature's about 90. There is no knocks, bangs, coughs. It's just the reassurance. Inside I feel really stressed because I know that I'm going to take this down the motorway this week. So every day this week I'm going to take it for a good run. I'm going to try and, you know, run the engine in. I'm not pushing it too hard. I'm sitting at 2,000 revs. We're in 6th gear. And we're doing I'd say about just under 70. So we'll check in again soon. Just check the levels again. We're right on the side of the 66 at Penrith here. A bit noisy, so I've come around this side. Yeah, everything looks fine. There's a little drop of oil, like I say. We noticed that this morning. I think that's just from the oil change. I will, however, when I get stopped, I'll wipe it off and see if it comes back. But everything's going really well. Fingers crossed, it's working. We'll crack on anyway. So Penrith's about 44 miles from my home, and it's a good road to test drive the van on because it isn't flat. It climbs, it drops, it climbs, it drops, and the climbs get progressively higher and steeper. So it's been a good test for the van. Now we're going to do 18 miles up the motorway. I'll just take it up to 70, I'll stick the cruise control on and we'll let it just run up to Carlisle on the motorway. Fingers crossed. I keep saying that, I'm so nervous. Like I've said all along, there's so much at stake in this van. We've got holidays planned all summer. The last thing I want to do is put all that in jeopardy. We spent a lot of time and effort getting this van right, and I think it is right. But and I just need to prove it. That's us up to speed. We'll just set the cruise control and go with it. Sit back and relax. If I can relax, that is. One eye on the temperature gauge, one eye in the mirrors, looking for any plumes of smoke or spray of water. This whole incident's made me so nervous, but it's a good kind of nervous, I would say, a good kind of caution. It's making me check my vehicle more regular, more than I did, and I did that quite a lot. So hopefully over the next few weeks my faith will be restored in this van, because that's what it is really. We've been let down. It is what it is. I just need to build that confidence and faith back up. Spit in there, sorry. Yeah, it's a confidence thing. So fingers crossed, we've repaired it and we are good to go. Okay, so we've just pulled off the motorway at Carlisle. We're going to take the back road now. Again, should be a little bit more challenging. Up hills, down hills, braking, accelerating, all the normal things that I would do on a daily basis. So it's a good run, this. It's a really good run. And it's nearly, it's the best part of 90 miles round trip. So get a couple of these under our belt this week. We'll be pretty much running. Looking under here, make sure there's no leaks from the injectors, no leaking around the back end of the pump. You can see all these connections have been loosened off, so we're just checking that they're not weeping. Everything seems to be okay, no weeping pipes anywhere. Oh, shut the bonnet. We've had a good day. Got our race course over there. Alright, home run now. It's lovely up here. Backside of Carlisle. That's called Derda. So we've just done a big loop right round all these mountains, up the motorway and back round. We're now going to go back that way and down. So we'll pass them yet again. So we're down Owl Cliffs. I thought that little leak, that little oil spot was developing. I've had a look and I don't know if you can see under there. Let's try and zoom in a little bit. Move some stuff out of the way. So it looked like oil, but we've tracked it round. The injectors have been leaking a little bit, so I thought we cured this last night. I need to now clean up all the injector wells, dry them out and see how we get on. So what we're doing to dry up the diesel is we push some blue roll in and let it sit and absorb the oil, and then we'll lift it out. I'll try and do it now so you can see. Straighten it in. if you can see in there's quite a bit of diesel. So we'll carry on and mop this up. How's this one going? Yeah, this one's doing alright as well. Might as well have this one out. Just ease it up. That's it. Right. Time for another go. Well, we've still got a diesel leak, but it's the night before Camp Quirky. There's nothing more I can do. We've got to get the van back together, packed up and ready to go. So we're just going to have to monitor it as we go down the motorway. We'll stop a few times. We're taking Boo with us. Now this is our first trip away, so we don't want to put her under too much pressure. So we're going to stop probably every every hour and a half. And that way I can monitor the diesel, see if it's going to be an issue or not. So tonight we're staying at a place called the Covert Farm. Don't know why it's called that, but it looks good, it looks nice. It's not far from where we need to be, but yeah, we're looking forward to it. Camp Quirky, I've always wanted to go. Anyway, thanks for watching again. I love the fact that you're sticking in with us, and your continued support is really appreciated. If you could, please consider subscribing, sharing it with your friends, firing us a few comments and hitting that like button. It all makes a big difference to the channel. It lifts our profile ever so slightly, but the channel's grown and it's all down to you guys. So thank you very much and keep watching. We'll see you after Camp Quirky. Thank you for your continued support. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing, liking and sharing with your friends. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.